The Metis Tech Show.
Welcome to the Metis Tech Show, a show for HVAC professionals by HVAC professionals.
I like how you guys bounce back and forth between heat pump talk and food talk.
The Metis Tech Show.
Mitsubishi.
Hi, Eric. So you were talking about chicken soup.
Chicken noodle soup, yeah. I almost once every 2 weeks probably make chicken noodle soup with my younger son. He loves soup. And so, yeah, I mean, we think of chicken noodle soup as being like canned soup, but no, this is like from scratch.
Okay, so how do you start?
So ideally, we've either roasted a chicken or maybe sometimes if we're short on time, we'll buy roast chicken.
Yeah, that's good.
So use pull all the meat off, you put the carcass, boil some water so you're getting all that, get that bone
You make
broth
your own
going.
chicken stock.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
That's
serious
legit.
stuff there.
Yeah, and then you got to have carrots, celery, onion. Saute that a bit. You got salt and pepper. Maybe add some paprika. Maybe if you want a little more like French flair, you can put in some herbs de Provence. So like rosemary, thyme. all that.
Don't say that again.
Yeah. Don't condescend to us.
Yeah.
And I'm your co-founder. I agree.
Yeah. Don't say that again.
Eric also has.
Say oregano or Italian seasoning or something.
So Eric also has his own chickens.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, how many chickens do you have?
So we had 9.
9.
We have 0 right now.
Oh, so I'm a chicken person too. I had 12 at one point. 2 of them ended up being roosters, so they ended up in a pot. And I'm down to 3. And my coop, I built the coop myself. It's pretty much predator proof. I think the only animal that would get its way in there is a bear, and you can't do anything to stop a bear.
Yeah.
A bear could break into your house if he wanted to. But I've had raccoons and bobcats and foxes and fisher cats and all kinds of animals try to get in, but they haven't. But I'm down to 3. The last one I just found dead inside the coop. It was pretty sad day, but not. They're also, I think they're 5 years old now. So this is my second year where November, basically the first week of November, they stop laying. I got nothing.
Yeah.
I may get 1 or 2 eggs between now and April. So they've outlived their usefulness for me, and they're too old to cook.
Yep. Not going to taste very good. Yeah.
But getting you a chicken soup, I love cooking soup, especially this time of year. But I would take a whole chicken and boil it, right, until it's cooked through, and then take it out, and there's your stock. Then you throw your vegetables in there and everything else, and you got the fat from the chicken, and all the chicken pieces get shredded out. And whatever that seasoning you was, I've never used that.
Herb du pont. Something like that.
You killed this. You killed this in the
I
first
ruined
30
it.
Put some
seconds
herbs
of
in
the
it.
podcast.
But what kind of noodle goes into your chicken noodle? Because that noodle is important.
Totally. I prefer like a spiral kind of noodle.
So like an egg noodle.
It could be an egg
Could be an
noodle.
egg
It could be
noodle,
like a rotini. Like
Yep.
that's my personal preference, but any kind of noodle.
Because my pet peeve is you throw the pasta in and then it gets all like if you were to put like elbow macaroni in, it's like 10 times the size of what it should be.
Yeah.
Totally.
And it's all soft and mushy. I don't like that. So.
See, I like rice, but
Yes.
the thing about it is I found out that you put rice in there, and whatever you don't eat, the next day it's in the fridge, you go to get it, there's no liquid whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So I think the secret is you have to cook the rice separately and first. And then you throw it in. It's a little better, but it's still, and you got to add more bone broth later, which bone broth, by the way, is very healthy for you. So if you're cooking the bones in there, that actually has some, I don't know if it's medicinal or health qualities, but it's the collagen, and it's supposed to be good for you.
Yeah. all the
So
good
I'm
stuff.
told.
Nice.
So, anyway, welcome everybody to the Metis Tech Show. Paul Shavs here with Steve Pimentel. Steve, say hi.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, we are still at the 2025 What's it called?
U.S. Heat Pump Summit.
Yes, U.S. Heat Pump Summit.
Good save, Ed.
I was looking at my name tag. Where am I?
Paul doesn't do well with these titles, like
No,
the DSG conference, the Diamond Elite.
But this is also my fourth week in a row on the road.
Oh, wow.
Even though I live 20 minutes from here, I still consider this on the road an event like this. So sorry about that. So anyway, a very special guest. We got Eric Fitz and Ed Smith. So I don't know which one of you guys wants to go first. You guys are with Amply Energy. So we're at a disadvantage here. Honestly, I know little about Amply, but I do listen to your podcast. And Steve knows nothing and has never listened to your podcast.
I know nothing. But no, I think it's because Paul and I are in the training world.
Yeah.
And if you're in sales, you know Amply. Everybody else that's here with us is in sales in one way, shape, or form. They know what Amply is. I am not familiar with Amply, so
let's
hoping
let's
that you guys will fill us in.
Yeah, let's do this. You guys introduce yourselves. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and so how you got here, and then we can get into what Amply is, what it does, how it does it, and so on. So, who wants to go first?
Awesome. I'm Ed Smith. I'm Eric's co-founder. We started, well, first of all, Eric and I met in college. So 25 years ago. We've done a whole bunch of different stuff. But then 4 years ago, we founded Amply, four and a half, to be a contractor, an electrification contractor. We work for homeowners. We were doing whole home electrification projects. So we put in a fair few Mitsubishi heat pump systems, but we also did batteries, EV chargers, solar panels, all that sort of stuff. And we found there were whiz-bang tools to do solar installs and stuff like that. We found the HVAC design software to be absolutely abysmal. So then I was doing most of the sales work. It would take me like 40 hours to design a system. And my good co-founder, Eric, here had an idea. Before we go into that more, I'll let you introduce yourself and then talk about the idea and how the new Amply was born.
Yeah, sounds good. So I'm Eric Fitz. I lead the technical side of our business, co-founder of Amply. My background's in mechanical engineering. Been designing software and hardware for the last 20 years or so. And like Ed said, we met many, many years ago. We were trying to recruit each other to different companies that we were working for. And I've been interested in the space for a while. I was interested in heat pumps, and I kept having friends and family asking me, like, Eric, how do heat pumps work? And like, is there one going to work for my house? And I'd used all the different tools that are out there for doing load calculations and trying to figure out equipment selection. And I was familiar with a lot of different products. And like, I'm like, wow, I know a lot about this stuff. I'm a trained engineer, and I find this hard still. But I could tell there's a lot of demand from all friends and family that were asking about it, and ultimately that led to this idea of like maybe we can make this easier for homeowners. So that was the initial kind of launch of Amply, and what we discovered, like Ed mentioned, that the hardest part out of all of these electrification opportunities in a home was the HVAC system. And that was where almost all the risk was. That's the thing where like if your heating goes out at 2:00 in the morning, you're getting a phone call at 2:00 in the morning kind of situation.
It's the most important thing in the house, other than probably electricity itself.
Yep.
It's probably going to be the most expensive thing you're going to replace or install at any time. And you're right. I remember back, and I'm not going to say how long I've been around, but I remember back in the day where load calculations were sheet after sheet after sheet of paper and math, and it would drive you crazy. And then you'd get 90% done and realize you made a mistake 3 hours ago, and you have to go back and start over. So I'm looking forward to hearing more about this.
Paul,
like I said,
our innovation is that we 3-hole punched all those sheets of paper and put them in a binder. And that's what Amply is.
Oh, wow, good. That's excellent.
It's going great.
All right, this is good. You know what's good about this, Steve? These guys do their own podcast, which we'll talk about in a second. So they don't even need us here. Right. we can just take a nap.
I'm going to go get a coffee.
We're going to make the bad jokes for you guys.
We'll be right back. You guys carry on. No, so were you done, Eric?
I was just, so I mean, Ed was joking, but getting into the real pain point that we realized ourselves trying to do these designs, for the HVAC system, it was super hard. And we've used all the different tools out there, and we had some of the same challenges where like man, we got one assumption wrong. Like, it's a big deal. So like, we got to be really careful about our inputs. We got to make sure we're doing this right. And at the time, we were kind of starting to build our own software to try to scale up the process that we were doing so we could make this, more viable. And ultimately, so we were designing the projects, and then we were working with partner subcontractors to actually install the systems. And they kept asking us, well, guys, how are you designing these systems? This is really impressive, this, all this information. And we're like, well, we built our own software to do this. And they're like, well, can we use that software? We're like, no, this is our own proprietary software. You can't use our software. And that kept happening over and over again. And we're like, we're doing this all wrong.
We should sell this software.
Yeah.
That's a bit. We should stop serving homeowners and start serving contractors.
All right. So tell us now what the software does, or what you guys got it to do anyway.
Yeah. So it's heat pump sales design sizing software. So it's on an iPad. Use it to scan a home. Like, I can scan 1,000 square feet in 2 to 5 minutes, depending on the complexity of that 1,000 square foot floor. Builds a 3D model of the home. Use that 3D model as your interface for the manual J load calculation. You want to change the wall value, like different R value in the walls, tap a wall, boom, you do it. So super intuitive. And that's what we hear. It's like much more intuitive than some of the previous tools. Also, way better than taking a laser tape measure, drawing out the floor plan. But then, so once you have a 3D model and a manual J ACA certified load calculation, we use augmented reality to help design the system. So how often, I guess you guys just said you're on the training side, but if you talk to a comfort advisor and you said, how often, if you're going to do a mini split system, how often does a homeowner say, what's my living room going to look like with that box on the wall? And they're like, 100% of the time. And I'm there with the cutout that Mitsubishi gives me, and I'm showing. Okay, so we use augmented reality to, on the screen of the iPad, put a 3D object model of the wall unit, the floor unit, the ceiling cassette, the supply grill, if it's a ducted system, the outdoor unit. All of this is visualized. You can draw on the slim duct. And so now a homeowner knows what they're getting, and they're walking through the home with the comfort advisor while they're doing it, and it's show, not tell. Right? And so the quote, it was used to be just model numbers and a price, which, no offense, guys, but the Mitsubishi MXZ doesn't mean anything to the average homeowner. So now when that's paired with an Amply design document where they can see, this is what I get in my bedroom, and this is what I get in my living room, like, it really brings it to life. So that's why we say it's sizing, design, and sales, because we found that Manual J went from being something that had been something you do at the office that was administrative work, and if you ever sent a report to a homeowner, they wouldn't know what it was. Now it really just brings it to life. Like, the Manual J is a useful sales tool.
Yeah, and that's where I think the homeowner didn't get it. You show up, you measure the house, you're going to draw it out, and you're either going to draw it out or you're going to use some type of software on a laptop, because I've done that, where you got to go to school for a week just to learn the basics.
Yep.
Right? And then you come back, but the homeowner has no idea what you just did and the amount of work that you put in to do that. But
it's invisible.
It is
the
invisible.
amount of work you did is invisible.
I mean, it's not a value to them.
Totally.
But they see you walking around the house, and hopefully, I would think if it was me, I would want them following me around to see what I'm doing. I would want them to see me scanning the room, because what the competition's going to do. They're going to show up and say, this is, we can put a 6,000 in here, or you can put a 12,000 in here, and just make it up and probably be sized wrong.
Yep.
Which still, unfortunately, still happens.
Yeah.
And from the technical side, when our distributors or our service guys are trying to help out people, the first thing they ask, hey, something's not working. All right, where are the load calcs? And I hate to hear, what load calcs? First of all, it's code.
Yep.
And second of all, it's got to be done in order for the system to work as designed.
Yeah.
So anyway, I've kind of digressed a little bit here, but I guess what I want to say is I think it's going to be a one-stop close, instead of, because if you leave and say, I'm going to do this and come back, by the time you come back, somebody else could have done it.
Yep.
And sold the job already. You did all that work for nothing.
Yep.
Totally.
Yep.
And so much of, like, at the highest level, the thing that we kept experiencing when we were thinking about kind of building Amply was, a lot of salesmen, designers, they're trying to make this decision between either do it fast or do it right. And we think there's absolutely a way to design the system correctly, to build the right system for this home, and to do it fast. And so that's what we think we've delivered with
that's
Amply.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And you guys also have a podcast.
We do.
So what's the name of the podcast?
The Heat Pump Podcast.
The Heat Pump Podcast.
It's very descriptive.
Yeah.
Yes. I love that podcast.
I appreciate that.
I
Steve, how do you feel about our podcast?
I'll let you know tomorrow.
Your bed podcast, yes. But it's what I like about when I first started listening to it. First of all, the people you were interviewing, most of them, at least when I think the first 10 episodes I listened to, 8 of them were our diamond contractors.
Dave's World,
Yeah.
Capuccio. We had a real straight.
Capuccio.
Yeah.
But the one thing that the reason I kept listening to it is because these guys, Eric, to something you mentioned, they do it right. And unless you look at the whole house as the system, I mean, the guys will show up, they'll see a furnace, they'll see an air handler, I'm going to replace it with the same thing. I'm not going to look at the ductwork, I'm not looking at anything, okay? That's wrong. You show up, you look at the ductwork, that's better. But you have to look at the whole house. And you guys have a bunch of people on that I've listened to that have had great success looking at the whole house as a system. Because if you don't do that, and I've been kind of pounding the drum on this for a while, but if you don't do that, and it doesn't matter how efficient it is or what it's rated at, none of that matters. It doesn't matter about the carbon footprint, doesn't matter about your comfort, because unless you look at the whole house, then all bets are off. Then you know nothing. And it's got to start with the load calculations first of all. Steve and I were talking about this morning. There was a guy that I knew when I first started in this business. He had 5 index cards with a different size hole in the middle of each card. And he would stand on the curb and hold up one card at a time until the whole house fit inside the hole.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking.
No, I know.
That was a real method.
It was a real method.
Yeah.
Right? But the thing is, he'd stand on the curb. If the curb was 10 feet from the house or 100 feet from the house, he's standing on the curb. And never mind what color the roof is, which way it's facing, what insulation is in there. Right. And then Steve I was telling me about what is it your old boss said?
Yeah, so he got it all wrong. He got the 400 CFM per ton. Well, he for years was measuring houses 400 square feet per ton. So yeah, I had to tell him. I think that's a different calculation.
You got the units wrong.
And we have another guy, 5-ton Bob, that would size everything with 5 tons, no matter what it was. So it could be 500 square feet, 2,000 square feet, 5 tons, perfect. What do you need? Because it ramps down. The system ramps down. You're good.
Yeah,
You're good.
But even the 400 square foot thing section is a 400 square foot with 7-foot ceilings or 12-foot ceilings. Yeah. Are there windows?
Right. And I remember using. Now I've been in the trade for a long time, so late '80s. It's when I got my start. So I remember using load calc software. I think it was on DOS. But no, it was stuff was old. But I remember load calc software where it was just so difficult. Yeah. And it asked you so much information that you just couldn't find out. Even the homeowner wouldn't know. What kind of windows you had and what was the R value of the windows and it was just so much stuff and you didn't know if it was right or wrong at the end of it.
So that's a good question. How does Amply know, or is there, what data does the user have to put in to say, like, hey, is it a 2x4 wall, is it a 2x6 wall, or does
is it a 2-pane?
So how do we figure that out?
I don't know how windows are made, but
so we tell our customers no matter what, you need to verify the most important details in the home, but we do provide some starting assumptions. We have our own proprietary method. It uses the age of the home and the location of the home to access.
It's a great idea.
Yeah. It accesses a database that's actually based on decades of research done by the National Renewable Energy Laboratory, Department of Energy, where people went out and audited about 1 million homes across the country. And so using some statistical sort of methodology and sampling from that data set, we can come up with a pretty good starting set of assumptions. But you still need to verify those most important details because, a homeowner could have changed the windows. They can change. Maybe they had weatherization just recently done that no model is going to be able to predict. So we help you to save you some time. So maybe there's fewer things you need to modify, but you still need to verify those details. Like, do you have low E glass or clear windows? And we offer some little tips on how to quickly check for that stuff.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
And this is all done with an iPad?
Correct. iPad Pro.
iPad Pro.
Yep.
Okay. See, our sales team all got iPads Pro because of this, but me and Steve were left out. We didn't get iPads.
Yeah.
It's in the mail.
I think we can expense that. We'll have to try it.
Yeah, you go ahead. You go first. If your boss approves it, then we'll go from there.
Yeah.
We'd be glad to give you
He
guys
approves my
access.
stuff.
How's that?
We'd be glad to give you guys access.
Yeah, we need to get iPads though first.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll work on getting iPads.
Yeah.
Great.
Or Leapfrog tablets or something. Get something.
Speaking spells.
Speak and spell.
Whatever.
So now, when you guys first were toying with the software, when you got it on the iPad, was there something that when you guys started using Amply, you said, "Oh my God, I forgot to put this calculation in"? There's probably a lot of them. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well,
Sure.
We didn't account for this. Oops.
Yeah, I mean, there's a forever list of things to do in software.
And you're probably still finding them. Right.
But
we've been
we
saved a bit because we basically went dark for 9 months. So we started first with the augmented reality, like picture the units, and we did some simple load calculations. We quickly realized we needed to do manual J. There's no halfway on manual J. You're the manual J or you're not. So we basically went dark for 9 months where Eric and 2 software engineers just built this and went through the thousands of permutations that manual J puts you through. So frankly, a lot of that stuff we caught because ACA was like, it's not good enough. Like, go back. Like, this isn't right. They've got these permutations and tests that they make you do. So that helped us quite a bit. But now that we have it out, we just see all the stuff we want to do to make it better. So I'm glad to say there was no like, oh crap, we forgot that. ACA helped us with that.
Yeah, that's the whole point of the certification.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
We were so excited
Yeah.
to go through the process to make sure we're legit. Like, we want to know that we are following all of the methodology to a T. And I give big credit to ACA and Wes Davis in particular, who really led the whole process. And like, it's super rigorous, and it really means something to be ACA certified.
And let the record show that we were not excited for any part of it until we got approved.
Sure.
And that was it was a grueling. It was a bet the company move to go after that because we're not venture capital funded or private equity funded or anything like that. We got a couple grants from the government and friends and family kicked some money in. But we were like, if we don't get this in 12 months, like we're sending out resumes, basically. So luckily we did in 9, but that was a rough process.
Okay, so how long has Amply been around?
I mean, we got incorporated 4 years ago?
4 years ago?
Yeah. But we got ACA certified July of 24.
That's a big deal getting ACA certified.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't know what the code is like in other states. I think it's similar, but in Massachusetts, where we're sitting, it's you have to have load calculations, and they have to be ACA certified load calculations, and that's code. I
code.
think it's code in most states.
It is.
Yeah.
But whether people do it or not is a whole other thing.
That is also true.
Right. Yeah. So new construction for most of the country, it's code. The bigger variation is on the retrofit side, but there's lots of rebate programs that do require manual J.
Yeah. Exactly. And I was actually, this goes back a few decades, but I remember being on a job and I was shocked because unless you're putting in a gas furnace, at least it was back then, there was no HVAC inspector. There was an electrical inspector and the plumbing inspector. So if you were putting in a furnace, they'd have to inspect the gas piping and the flue and in the electrical with that. But there was one building inspector that actually asked us for the load calculations. And I was floored. I was like, what? And we actually had him. Which is a good part. I was like, I think he thought he was going to catch us. Oh, watch these HVAC guys. No, no, we actually had it. So I'm curious now. I'm looking at your shirt and your whatever you call that
Logo?
No, what do you call this thing here?
Sweatshirt?
A sweatshirt. Yeah, but it's a zip-up sweatshirt. It's not a hoodie.
It's kind of a hoodie. Yeah, you can call it a hoodie.
It's a fancy hoodie.
Bill Belichick would say it's not a hoodie. Anyway, so Amply, where did the name Amply come from?
We played with a lot of different ideas, but ultimately we landed on Amply partially because it ties back to sizing. So you don't want to be oversized. You don't want to be undersized. You want to be sized kind of just right, just like a little bit extra. So amply sized.
Yeah, ample
Yeah.
size. Okay.
And then,
Oh, yeah.
and then, from the tie to heat pumps, with amps, amperage, electricity, we like that as well. And so that was really
that makes sense.
Begins with an A.
Yeah, alphabetically get you in the.
You'd be surprised how often that helps. Actually, we're like on the top of a list or something. But yeah, and it seems like a friendly word. You know what I mean? Like it's very approachable. So yeah.
Yeah. By the way, that's why the Roadrunner got all this stuff from Acme. It was the first company to show up in the Yellow Pages.
Oh, that's funny.
For those who remember Yellow Pages, or the Roadrunner,
Or the Looney
for that
Tunes.
matter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So let's go back to the podcast. How did that come about? And how long has it been out?
So we started that pod. The first episode was May or June of 24. Yeah, because it's been about 18 months.
Yep.
It's been about 18 months. It came about because, honestly, I feel like I just turned to you one day and said we should start a podcast. And you said, that's a terrible idea.
I was like,
That's how I started.
This is the worst thing we could do right now. What are you thinking?
What a dumb idea. And our director said, no, make it work. Do something. Okay.
The way this went down for us is Eric said it's a terrible idea. So that made me dig my heels in even more. And I said, I actually think this is a good idea. And Eric said, we can do, he said, who's going to edit it? And I said, your brother. He's a videographer. He can figure this out. And he goes, okay. And he said, who's the first guest going to be? I said, Matt Scott from Dave's World, obviously. He was our first customer, like everything. Matt's been incredible support. And he goes, okay, we can do one episode and then we'll reevaluate. So we did one episode and, we've known Matt for years. And we learned more about him in that 75-minute conversation than we ever knew. And we got off and we're like, we loved it. Like, we just learned so much. And we're like, all right, we'll do another one. Somebody Capuccio next.
Yep.
Same thing. We've known him for years. And we're like, we learned more from Capuccio. And
We've had Capuccio on our show.
yeah, no, the Mortadella conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's why he came over to my house for dinner. That's why I had it. And then we did, and then we branched out. So there was someone we didn't know. It's Hal Smith from Halco, who Hal runs up in upstate New York, a $40 million incredible. He's here.
I just had lunch with him.
Have him on this. He's incredible for an episode.
Yeah.
But we didn't know Hal. And the key there was Hal gave us the time. Like if I had sat down and said, Hal, I want to ask you 90 minutes of business advice, he would have said like sorry, or drive to me, But I said, do you want to come on the podcast? And he was like, yeah. And so then we were like, it's letting us learn. And then we figured we'd just do it because we love to do it. And for some reason, people started listening to it. So then we just said, all right, we'll keep going.
How many episodes you in?
We just had 40.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. We release every other week.
So how do you start your podcast? Any banter or you just go right into HVAC?
We basically record, but do like 5 to 8 minutes of like going over how it's going to work and all that. And usually in there, somebody curses and something funny happens, and that's the opening. And then, or we take a clip that's from the middle.
Right.
And we open it with that later.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But then otherwise we'll just introduce the person.
Clever. I like that.
Yeah, no, that's what they do. So like it reminds me of Cheers. When Cheers was the first show that I remember doing this, where they'd have a little, before the music starts and the show introduces, they'd have a little skit, 30
Really?
seconds.
The Cheers started that?
Yeah, Cheers.
That's how they all start now.
That's the first show I remember doing that was
Yeah.
Cheers. I could be wrong. That's the first one I remember.
Yeah.
It's like a cold opening.
And then the first time I listened to you guys, it's like it was. You hear somebody talking, and it was from the guy from Dave's World, and you hear him talking, and then the show starts, and you hear him saying again. It was they just take a little snippet, like a 5-10 second snippet from the middle of the show, something
But
key.
that gives you a sense of the theme of the show. We try to like not mislead you. Like if it's usually key to the overall episode.
Yeah, because we make people very angry with our food banter.
Why?
Oh, we make one guy very angry.
We make one guy very, very angry, but we get a few contractors that are like, can you do an episode with no food? And I'm like, can you just forward it and shut up?
Yeah, there's a little button, 15 seconds. It's the clockwise arrow, but But I was just in Pasadena, California last week at the iHockey show, which is for trade schools in the state. And one guy came up to me and he goes, "You guys got to stop talking about food." I go, "Why?" He goes, "Because every time I'm in the van, I get hungry and I got to stop and eat." I go, "That's not my problem.
Yeah.
Listen to us after dinner, after lunch or something."
Yeah, we're gonna have Gordon Ramsay on and just
there you go.
talk about nothing but food for a whole episode.
Yeah, we should. We should.
Yeah, we'll do some HVAC banter and
Yeah, and then food.
Yeah.
No. So, guys, let's get back to the business here because we're digressing here. Anything else? So, I think I mentioned to you guys, our target audience is the guy in the truck, installers, service guys, some business owners listen to us, some sales managers, TMs, and so on. What else do they need to know about Amply?
So a big, we talked about with our software in particular that we put together this report that's really powerful for the homeowner. It helps them really understand the project that's been proposed. It's also an incredible tool for the install team. So you get this one document, one PDF that's got all of the photos, the 3D models, all those details labeled, organized in a single document. It really helps them understand the scope of work for the project. And it's a great, for teams, a lot of larger companies, they'll have like a conversation before install date with the salesperson to kind of just double check, like, is this going to make sense? Is this going to work? And it's, instead of having to flip through a whole bunch of different random pictures and all these other details, you just have this one document you can refer to and everybody's on the same page. So the homeowner's on the same page, the salesperson's on the same page, and the install team is on the same page. So that's another kind of use case
that's huge.
for our products.
That's huge.
Yep. We launched, an ACA certified product last summer, but, we certainly have been building all kinds of new capabilities. We're usually releasing new features once every 2 weeks or so.
Oh, wow.
We sometimes have a little small periods where it's a little bit longer than that as we're like building something, bigger, but we're constantly improving the software and there's all kinds of exciting stuff that we're looking forward to releasing soon here.
So if somebody listening wants to find out more, how do they find out more information? How do they get a hold of you?
You can go to www.amply.energy, and that's how it ends. .energy. It's not .com. It's just amply.energy. There's two big buttons. One says watch a demo. If they click that, they can see a 5-minute demo and see how the software actually works. If they are intrigued, there's another button that says talk to sales. And I'm the sales team, so that means me. Might as well just say talk to Ed Smith. Hit that. It'll take you to my calendar, and then they can just pick a time. It sends a calendar invite with a Zoom link, and then I'll see them on Zoom for whatever day and time they chose.
Oh, wow.
Pretty straightforward.
Cool. Now, I meant to ask you this earlier. You guys local?
Yeah, I live in Brookline, so I'm about an hour east.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm in Maine, just outside of Portland.
Oh, okay. Yeah, a lot of people from Maine here. Scott Libby's here from Maine.
Yeah.
We had him on the show before here.
Did he talk about using Amply?
Not on the show.
He should.
No,
All right. I'm going to have to talk
remember.
to Scott about that. Okay.
I think he talked about lobster rolls.
Yeah.
In fact,
well, there you go.
I keep bringing this up, Steve. We were supposed to go up there and do training for him. He was supposed to bring us to the best lobster roll in the world, take us on his boat, and he didn't.
Right.
Well, mostly because we didn't go up to do the training. but he's still,
that would
we'll have to go up there in the
explains
summertime.
it, but yeah, we'll have to talk to him about that. Get some lobster rolls.
Have you had? Did he take you for lobster rolls?
He didn't take me for lobster rolls, but I've had lobster rolls before. But I'm curious what Scott Libby thinks the best lobster roll in the world is. That he would know.
Yeah,
and
we talked about
He says you have to get there by boat. He has to get on his boat and get there. So I don't know where it is. Now, there's a difference. I just found this out recently. Apparently, there's a Maine lobster roll and there's a Connecticut lobster roll.
Oh, yeah. Mayo versus butter.
No. It's heated versus cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's, who would put mayo on lobster? I'm sorry.
A mayo lobster rolls.
No.
Pretty darn good.
No, I'm not using mayo. I'm just
both
using
looking at me
lobster.
askance. Okay.
Isn't mayo part of a lobster roll? Isn't that the staple?
No.
I appreciate you coming to my defense on this, Steve.
I like the butter. I don't like
the butter's good. I'm not.
Yeah,
gonna,
no, butter's good, but you got a lobster roll. I thought it starts with the lobster, and you throw the mayo in. You make like a little salad in there, and you throw some in there, and then you put it inside a bun, and that's a lobster roll, right?
Yeah, no. See, I like lobster. See, when I eat lobster, I only eat lobster at home. I don't get it in a restaurant because it's too messy, and I can't wear a shirt when I eat. 'Cause I eat everything. And a little butter is okay, but when food needs some sauce to go on it, then the food's not good enough. Right? I like my lobster rolls are toasted, buttered.
Paul's not joking. He cannot wear a shirt when. Well, you don't want to see him with no shirt on.
Yeah, but when I wear a shirt, I wear a shirt.
can't wear.
Spray and wash is we own stock, and
I call him the otter. So the otters swim on their back and they crack shells with it on the.
That's
Nice.
funny.
yeah. No, I get food on. My wife can tell what I had for lunch when I get home because it's on the front of my shirt. But I like you butter and toast the roll, and it has to be the hot dog roll you get in New England, whatever that's called. But then the lobster just goes right in there, and then I don't need anything else. That's my lobster roll. I don't like mayo. Butter I'll tolerate, but I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay, now you just offended the whole industry of lobster roll people.
But I got you a sub yesterday that
was
you
delicious.
loved.
That was delicious.
And I ordered it. It was a steak and egg sub grinder, whatever you want to call it, toasted bun with mayo. I clicked on the mayo. We ordered 2 subs, and he comes in my office. Oh my God, it was the best sub I ever had. It was mayo in
That
it.
was good. That's
Is
okay.
this like an egg salad with steak? Is
No,
that
no,
what-
no. It was like
Scrambled eggs.
scrambled egg,
Oh,
kind
wow.
of mixed
Amazing.
with steak and
Okay.
cheese
All right, now I'm
in a
with
sub,
you.
Picture
toasted
is-
bun.
A steak and cheese omelet
yeah.
on a sub roll with a
Amazing.
little bit of mayo is what it was. It was delicious, actually.
Now, if you go to Fall River, they make the same thing at A1 Pizza, but they throw French fries in it. So it's French fries, eggs,
Whoa.
and steak and cheese.
It sounds like Pittsburgh. If you go to Pittsburgh and get a sandwich, every sandwich has coleslaw and French fries in the sandwich. Which to me, that just saves. My kids are like that. My wife, we had pot roast a couple days ago, and pot roast, mashed potatoes, and green beans. And both my kids took it was on their plates, and they mixed it all up and just made like a soup out of it, like a paste. And then my wife was like, "What are you guys doing?" She goes, "Ma, it tastes the same." Right? And then last night we had chili and baked potato, like a baked potato, fully loaded baked potatoes.
Yeah.
And my youngest, my 15-year-old, is sitting there and he just cuts it. First of all, he had the baked potato with the chili and the cheese and the bacon and the butter and the scallions and everything, and then he's eating it like a sub.
That's awesome.
He grabbed it in
That
both his
is
hands.
gangster
He's eating it like
right
a sub,
there.
and then he's like, "This is too hot." So then he puts it in the plate and starts stirring it around, and just like it makes like this slurry. And I'm like, my wife can't understand it. He's like, "It's so efficient."
know, Apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
What are you talking about?
That's amazing. Tom's my boy.
Anyway, guys, I thank you so much for joining us. Let's give the website once again.
www.amply.energy.
Amply.energy. Okay. And good. Let us know if anybody contacts you from listening to our show. We're heard in 95 different countries.
Love it.
Yeah, some of them are scary. I don't want to be investigated by the NSA, but most of them are good countries. I'm surprised some of the countries, really.
What happens if a customer types in amply.com?
I have no idea.
There's a company that no longer exists. That actually,
okay.
there's an EV
All
charging
right,
company.
so,
Yeah.
So
if you get that
Amply-
company, you did it wrong. Amply.energy.
You got
That
it.
energy.
All right,
Or
guys.
the Heat Pump Podcast.
The Heat Pump Podcast. Yeah, listen
Okay.
to Heat Pump Podcast. I got to tell you, if I can find Hal from me, because when I sat with him, I knew it sounded familiar and I knew something about it, but I didn't put it together. So I want to grab him if he's still here.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for having
Yeah,
us.
really
It was
fun.
awesome.
Pleasure.
Yeah,
Take care, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, everyone.